Okay, what is up, guys? Today we are going to be talking about the topics of race. Because a bunch of white Christian American evangelicals have discovered these Bible passages and are now spreading them all over social media to prove that God is racist and opposes of race mixing and opposes of intermarriage and immigration and all that sort of stuff. So now that they've found it, they're spreading it everywhere. And I think it's sort of funny that these white supremacist Christians have gone to these quotes when in fact Christianity is, of course, the Bible itself is a bunch of desert text scriptures, which of course comes from the Middle East. So if you truly, because Christianity itself is not a part of European mythology or European folklore or European spirituality, Christianity comes from the Middle East. This, for example, is an picture of what archaeologists have put together of what Jesus would have really looked like. Not this guy, because unfortunately there are a lot of Texans out there who still believe that this white brunette was born in Texas and supports the Second Amendment. I am not even joking, a lot of them actually do believe in that. Even though America is not even mentioned in the Bible, Torah, or the Quran, and America was discovered by Columbus centuries after America was even discovered. So the Bible was written centuries before America was even discovered. So a lot of these Americans like to take these Bible verses and these Bible prophecies to think that these prophecies are going to happen inside America. But why would Jesus write stuff that is prophesied to happen in America when he didn't even know what America was? So no one born of a forbidden union may enter the assembly of the Lord. Even the 10th generation, none of his descendants may enter the assembly of the Lord. Okay, that is Dimitri 232. Now the problem with the Bible is when you translate it from Hebrew into English, it translates into Old English, so you get a lot of words like thee and thy, and words you would find out of a Shakespeare poem. Because English has changed over time, so when you translate the Bible into Hebrew into English, it translates into Old English. So of course you can use these metaphors and you could use these quotes to translate it to get any meaning you want. And we see fundamentalists do this all the time, especially like what ISIS do with the Quran and the Taliban. Because like I said, it's in Old English, it doesn't relate to modern day English, so you can play about with these metaphors. Like, nor shall wear a garment of cloth made of two kinds of material. Like, what the hell does that even mean? So of course you can play around with Old English and you can interpret it and you can mistranslate it to make it mean whatever you want it to mean. Okay, so let's bring up a big, obvious, in-your-face, l'anglais, as the French call it, English, a big fat English Bible quote that's modern, that proves to them that God is racist. You shall not intermarry with them, giving your... Okay, I'll do it in my God voice, I'm sorry. You shall not intermarry with them, giving your daughters to their sons, or taking their daughters for your sons, for they would turn away your sons from the following me to serve the other gods. Then the anger of the Lord would be kindled against you, and he would be destroyed you quickly. Okay, translating that is pretty, as the SJWs call, pretty racist. I don't know if you know, but that's how they pronounce it, without the T, That's racist! Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, let me say that again. You shall not intermarry with them, giving your daughters to their sons, or taking their daughters for your sons. For they would turn away your sons from the following me to serve other gods, then the anger of the Lord be kindled against you, and he would destroy you quickly. Okay, so basically he's saying, don't intermarry your children with other people's children, because then they would lose faith. That's what that translates into. And I hate to admit it, but yeah, that is pretty racist. But I'm going to explain to you why something that is racist, clearly is racist, is not racist, just to confuse you. And in a way, you may argue that I'm misinterpreting this, but because a lot of people say, well, you support multiculturalism, you support race mixing, you support immigration, so why are you defending these quotes and then saying they're not racist as a religious person? Okay, well, you can call me a hypocrite then, so, because I will translate this quote to you, this racist quote, and say to you why there's more nuance to it than what it says, okay? So maybe I am a hypocrite, but this is just disproving other people who are misquoting it even worse than I am, okay? I don't think it's intentionally racist. I just think that God, well, we all know the person who wrote it, a human being, knows how social gender demographics work. For example, every civilization is 50% male and 50% female. And when you have this nice balanced population, it means everyone can get married. If you have 50% men, 50% women, and you have enforced monogamy, it means everyone gets married and everyone gets to reproduce, okay? But then, all immigration, unfortunately, tends to be male-based. All immigrants tend to be males going to other countries to seek a better life. It has nothing to do with race, it's more about to do with economics. It would work the other way around as well. So immigration is mostly males going to other countries to seek better lives for themselves. And every refugee crisis is always going to be male-based because most of the men fight and die in the wars and are at risk of dying in the wars because they are the ones expected to fight in them. So all immigration and all issues of refugees and stuff, they're all going to be male-based. And the problem with that is then it will mess up the gender demographic that you will now get a 70% male population and a 30% female population. So the male population increases and then you get a society like China or Japan, okay? Or what's happening in Europe right now. Okay, and the problem with that is when you have an unequal gender population that's mostly male-based, they tend to get pretty violent. Just look at the lions or any animal documentary. You see them all fighting over the mates. So if you are wanting to run a civilization, wanting to build, create and maintain a civilization, it's not a good idea to have a bunch of lone, angry, depressed, frustrated, lonely males going around all over the place because they're going to be violent, they're going to turn things to shit because they don't have kids and they don't see no future and they're just going to rip the society apart anyways. So if you're wanting to build, maintain and create a civilization, obviously that's not a good idea. And yes, there will be toxic masculinity if men don't get to express love for the other gender. That's just how we are made of a species, okay? So I think that's what God is meaning, is to prevent chaos every 50% of their nations should stick to their 50% to prevent an unequal ratio that will quickly turn violent in the exchange of violence for resources via women, like the lions, okay? So I think that's what God means with that quote. And if you think I'm the one misinterpreting the Bible and using its metaphors to my political advantages, please let me know. Let me read another one. You shall keep my status. You shall not let your cattle breed with a different kind. You shall not sow your field with two kinds of seed, nor shall you wear a garment of cloth made of two kinds of material. Okay. Let me say the first one. You shall not intermarry with them. I don't know if I've said already, but Christianity is originally a brown, Judaic Middle Eastern religion. So when the white supremacists retweet this, you shall not intermarry with them, it's a warning for brown people not to marry white people, and then white people are then retweeting that to somehow gain a political brownie point for white supremacy, even though they're quoting a foreign Middle Eastern religion into their cause. And a lot of people say, oh well, it doesn't matter, we still support the message of not mixing with other races anyway, so it's good enough. So they just use that as an excuse, but yeah. Okay, where was I before I got caught up? You shall not keep my status, you shall not let your cattle breed with a different kind, you shall not sow your seed with two kinds of seed, nor shall you wear a garment of cloth made of two kinds of material. Okay, I think when God says all these quotes, what he says basically is, men change and give up everything just to be with women. Okay, think about that. So obviously, like in the Bible, Solomon was a womanizer who loved foreign women. He loved the good old exotic booty, okay? Big race mixer, you know, you had wives from Egypt, Armenia, Turkey, Lebanon. He loved spreading it out, basically. And God punished him because he loved these exotic wives so much, and because he changed himself for these wives, that he stopped worshipping gods and he started worshipping their gods, and he started whoring for their gods. And that is a warning. That basically, it's nothing to do with race, it's just a warning that men will give up their entire belief system to whore to another one that they don't agree with just to get laid. That's basically what that means, and it's true, unfortunately, with all these cucks. And obviously, I think God or Jesus or the person who wrote this, once again, knew common sense that if two different races mix together, then the person who's going to come out mixed race, they're going to come out as this cultureless nomad that's going to have a bunch of identity issues. They're not going to know their place in the world. They're not going to know where they come from. They're going to have no nation, no culture, no religion. And then they'll just accept anything and they'll whore for any god. And I think that's what God means by that. It's not racist, it's just, unfortunately, that's what happens to a lot of immigrants and mixed race people. They don't find their place in the world, and they don't get to experience the privileges that other people get to experience, because unfortunately they are of immigrant or mixed race background. So, because the people most likely to feel marginalised and bullied are, unfortunately, immigrants and mixed race people. So I think it's not God being racist, but God trying to protect people from a potential danger. And we see this danger all the time because immigrants are the most marginalised group in society, or one of the most marginalised groups in society. So yeah, And he made from one man of every nation of mankind